no judgment zone. And it's all about just being you and being free, being natural.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for the Be Natural Show. Today we have a special guest, Dr. Derenzia Johnson. He's the pastor of Greater New Hope Baptist Church in St. Louis, Illinois. We're glad to have you today and get some male input into our subject today. And our subject for today is, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to read this. Is it healthy in a marriage or relationship when the significant other loses himself or herself in the relationship? So let's start with the married folks, because y'all know I'm not married, so I can't speak on marriages yet.
Well, you got to introduce me.
Wait, I didn't introduce everybody else. Sorry.
No,
okay.
I want my introduction.
Apologies. We have Mrs. Veronica Battle. Stand up, show your clothes. Let's get that out. Get that out the way.
I am the owner and CEO of Lady Taj Boutique, which I am wearing Lady Taj Boutique t-shirt. So I'm on all social media platforms.
All right.
Lady Taj Boutique.
Taj. Okay, and then we have Keisha. We have Vernice, and I have already introduced her husband, Dr. Derenzia Johnson. All right, so back to the topic at hand. Let's get some male energy in this conversation this time. So what do you guys think about that?
Well, we came up with the topic based on Kim Kardashian and Kanye, because when they first got married, she already had her own stylist, and she dressed totally different. She was more classy and sassy. It is what I would wear, what she would, how she was dressed. But when Kanye got in the picture, he told her he didn't like her stylist, so he wanted her to get his stylist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when she started dressing more, riskier and racier. And then when he changed and to go on his journey to change paths and, saying he given his life to Christ, then he wanted her to change, but he had started that. And it's like she was just giving all herself to him. And then with Chris Humphries, because I love watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians, so that's how I know people, because of the fact I look at Keeping Up with the Kardashians faithfully, because I like the way I just look at their clothes, but I keep up with their storyline too. So even when she was married to Chris Humphrey, it's like she was giving, it's like she would always give her all. Then when she was with Reggie, she did the same thing. So, and people may consider that as head of the household. I don't know. We'll see what Dr. Johnson say on that.
Well, you got to understand that some of that stuff you see on television, that's what it's for. It's for television. It's being a celebrity. It's drawing ratings. Whatever you have to say, because in any event, when you go into a relationship with someone, and when it goes to the point of you want to be married, then those issues and those things should be talked about. I think it's very important that a person still maintain their individual, being themselves, because you're a person, but also how do you join that other person that it doesn't cause problems in the relationship or in the marriage. So I would say that maybe they didn't talk about it at a length and before they got married. So I would say those things need to be talked about before you get married. As a relationship, even in marriage, you still need your individuality. You still need to be who you are, but yet be able to coexist within that relationship. That's just my perspective. But all that's television for me, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of it is scripted, of course. Even when we're talking about our topics, some of it, I mean, most of it is real. We're being natural, but some of that is scripted for TV, because if you don't make a little bit of it scripted, it's not interesting for people to want to watch.
Right.
But I think it's interesting because I thought before Kim on the show, before she got with Kanye, I liked the way she dressed. And then all of it, he comes into the picture and he changes it. So that was interesting for me because it was kind of controlling. And in a relationship or in a marriage, I want to be my individual self, something as small as clothing, unless I'm dressing provocative. Now, I would want my husband to say, that's a little bit too much. You're dressing way too provocative. But to be controlling of what I wear, now you're not letting me be an individual. And I would get a little offended by that, because to me, that's you teeter-tottering on being controlling. Then I would wonder, okay, now you're trying to control what I wear. What's next?
But the thing about it is, how was she dressing when she met him? And was that an issue? I mean, it's completely understandable that she had to be dressing the way she was dressing, and he was attracted to it. Now, I understand in relationship, especially when you went to a marriage, you go into growth, maturity. Did they talk about that? Just because a person, yes, you do maintain your individuality, but how do you mature as it relates? Now you are married. Now you are in a different kind of relationship. So do we look at that as controlling, or do we look at that as growth? And the person that you are right now, if you're growing and maturing, even you ladies, you're not going to wear what you wore 10 or 15 years ago because you matured. So one person may be matured more faster than the other. But if I say I don't like something, is that controlling, or is that, say, mature? Now, I do think that a conversation should happen where they talk about it into depth. Why I don't like what you're wearing. What does it say about now that we're in a relationship? But just because he met her like that, he was attracted to that. Did they grow out of that? Or did he say, now she's my wife, this is my expectation? And I'm sure she had some expectation. All I'm saying is those things need to be talked about, because you do grow. What's my expectation of you as we grow together? That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you, but I think really so the point of, I think, the Kim Kanye story is, okay, so when she met him, she had her own style. But so then he changed her over, so he wanted her to be more, he felt like he gave her an upgrade. And so she started dressing more provocative than usual, but that's what he liked. Well, now Kanye, he's saved, and, he's gotten into the church. So now he basically wants her to tone that down. Again, he wants her to tone it down, to change again and tone it down, but she's got comfortable with the way, she was dressing and the way he liked her to dress. But now, 4 kids later, you done got saved and you done came into the knowledge of God. Now you want me to change again. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's like kind of the issue that they're having. But I agree with you. I feel like it is a conversation that needs to be had. And then, but you don't want to lose yourself in your spouse. But I know as women, we try to please our spouse. So, if he says, well, babe, I think you need to tone that down or whatever, we gonna try. At first, we might bump against the system or whatever, but if he's a good provider, if he checking all the boxes and he doing what he's supposed to do, you don't have a problem with, kind of toning certain stuff down. You get what I'm saying? But I don't think it's losing yourself. Sometimes you have to find that happy medium.
No.
But I'm
Well,
not married, so.
Well, that's true. Well, now my husband, he'll tell me anyway if something is not right or something's not looking right or whatever. And I'm glad he's that kind of person that will tell me, because he don't be walking out the door looking any kind of way. And
True.
same for myself, and I want him same thing for him. So it's not that I dress provocative anyway, but he still lets me know how it's looking before I walk out that door. And we have this conversation about, what to wear and, what not to, or whatever. You have to have that conversation and talk and come to an agreement. And we do that. So I have no problem with that.
Yeah. Because once we get married, don't we supposed to dress for our husband? Like, isn't that the...
Yeah, to a certain degree, though.
Yeah.
And I'm different to a certain degree, because the thing is, I guess if I like it, and I'm sorry that if Jay don't like it, but if I like it, I can't change me just because something that because we are still individuals, still have different minds. So, and that's the one thing I like about him, because he let me be me. Now, if it's a certain outfit that I like and he don't like, he'll be like, you sure you want to wear that? Okay, well, I don't want to wear it with him, but I will wear it. It just won't be with him because we're going out together. Now, if I'm wearing it to work and he's not there, I'm gonna wear it. If I'm going to the mall, he's not there, I'm gonna wear it, because I still got to keep myself, because I have lost myself before in my previous relationship, where I was jumping and trying to, please and everything. And, so he won't get mad and go to fussing, yelling, fighting, carrying on. But with him, what I love about James is that he allow me to be me with my flaws and all. And the vice versa with him. Some of the stuff he'll wear, I'll be like, but again,
I don't think it's losing yourself. I think I think.
But if I like it,
I'm not saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying. I don't think anybody on here is saying that you're losing yourself because your spouse may say that they don't like something. What I'm saying, for me, if I'm going out, the first person that I want to be attracted to me or to please is Bernice, my wife. First of all, I mean, I'm not going out there and I think she's gonna be honest with me enough to say, hey, that doesn't look good. I mean, when it comes to Bernice, I tell her, if she feel like something look good on her and we agree, because I'm gonna be honest with her. I don't want her going out there looking in the kind of way. And if I tell her that and she says, well, who are you trying to attract? You're not losing your individuality. But my point is this, it's like this. If I say to her sometimes, I want my wife to look sexy. I want her to look attractive. And that's first for me. If I like it, it doesn't even matter what's going on out there. Because I'm going to tell her before she go out how good she looks. But I think I also have responsibility and vice versa. If I say, I don't know about that. That doesn't, I hope she'll listen. I'm not saying that I can make her, but what I'm saying is we are one. And I feel like I'm going to be honest with her and she's going to be honest with me. And then there's another picture that we might not know of the Kanye and his wife relationship. He might be saying, okay, we went through those stages, but now we got kids. We got children, and you showing everything. How does that represent them? Maybe they don't like that, or maybe they're saying, how are these people looking at my mom? So you got to understand there's a phases in relationships where sometimes one spouse has to remind the other we're not there anymore. Now we got kids, or now we are growing older. Now we got to be more responsible. And in that responsibility, it's not about being yourself, but it's how do we help each other to change and grow maturely. That's all I'm saying. So I mean, I understand all y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, he did say that when after he got saved. I saw the whole show of that episode. But listen what I'm saying.
He grew in his relationship.
Right. After he got
so right, why would not
he got because but after he began to be when he's changed to become to know Christ, then he changed. But listen what I'm saying. She wasn't on that journey yet. And just because you may be on that journey, and if I'm not there yet, don't mean you can't criticize me because I'm not on that journey yet. And what I'm saying, but what I'm saying, if James said he don't like, I got a pair of pants right now, I can go show you that he don't like, but I don't wear it with him because I know he don't like them. But I do wear them. I just don't wear them with him when we're out together because I know he don't like them. But if I'm going by myself, and it ain't for nobody, just I like the pants because they are comfortable, and it's sad he don't like that, but I do because they are comfortable, and he respects that, and I respect that the fact that he doesn't like it. That's why I won't wear it with him when we're out together.
Right on that thing,
huh?
Are you showing that thing in them pants, and that's why?
No. It's very loose. It ain't even tight at all. Very loose. They the hammer pants. You don't like them.
Oh, but Ronnie, you said something that's kind of startling. You said that he got saved. All right. So he got saved. That's a good thing. He matured.
It is.
Let me finish. You saying just because I'm not there, are you one now? Is it? Sometimes, yeah, but that's okay. Can I finish?
Okay, go ahead.
If you and your spouse are making y'all trust each other, y'all helping each other, and one mature and it's going in the right direction, isn't it the responsibility to pull the other spouse along? I'm not saying make anything, but it's the responsibility for somebody to mature enough to say, we've been there. It's time for us to transition here. If you're gonna totally, I think you have to maintain your individuality to a certain extent. That's important. That's very important. You don't lose yourself. But what you said is like whatever. No. You don't need to be married. I don't need to be married. No.
I think that's just the way you perceive it. Because what I was saying is when at that time, because there's gonna come a time, and that's in any relationship, that nobody gonna just because we as one, we ain't gonna grow mentally the same on the same thing. That's right there, just common. That's common sense. Number two, if he has gotten saved, she hasn't, we can't criticize her because that is his job, is to lead her on, because he is the head of the household and he is hearing from Christ. Yeah, that is his job to lead her on. But again, if she's not in that place where he at, pray for her, give her time, and keep talking to her. But he really shut straight down. That's one of the reasons why they're separated. Because
but we only see parts. So I'm just talking about in general. I'm just using that as a talking point because we really don't know what went behind the scenes in their marriage. So I can't go deep. I'm just saying general.
Right. I'm just going by only what I saw on TV because, like I told you, I looked at them faithful. So that's
not realistic. That's not realistic. That's not realistic. That's ratings.
Okay.
All I'm saying is I don't base my relationship off of something that happened on television because it's ratings to me. It's not real.
I don't either. We're having a conversation around that topic. I'm doggone 53 years old. I know I got sense enough not to base me and Jane's relationship on nobody on TV, not even in real life. I don't compare my relationship to nobody.
Okay, so that was an interesting segment. So what about, let's move away from clothes. How about, let's say, hobbies or interests? Because sometimes people get in relationships, not just marriage, and you want to find something that you guys can do that you both like. But sometimes, especially women, we lose ourselves and we try to be so pleasing to the man that we're in a relationship with. So anything he want to do, all of a sudden, we're doing everything he want to do. And we stop doing what we don't want to do because we want to please him.
So that's what I'm saying. I think it goes back to we as women, we are natural, pleasers.
Right.
We want to please, we want to do, it's like we have in our head, people think of, like you said, that perfect relationship or that perfect marriage. Okay, well, I'm supposed to do everything my husband want me to do, whatever he say, whatever. I mean, and they don't look at it as controlling. They look at it as I just want to please him. You see what I'm saying? Now, I mean, some people are not like that. I don't know. I haven't gotten to that point yet. But I mean, I would like to think, that whoever my husband is, we can still be independent of each other, but still share the things that we like. And certain stuff I would change, tweak a little bit, just to please, if he say, something he don't like or whatever. I mean, tweak it a little bit to please him. Because he is my husband. So I think we have to do that give and take. That's how
But is that healthy though?
It's give and take.
Yeah.
Some things I want to do. He may say, well, Vernice, what you want to do today? And that's what we do. It's whatever I name. He said, well, okay, that's what we'll do today. Next time he may say what he wants. I may give him the opportunity to say, okay, what you got planned for today? And I may do, things that he want to do on that day. So, like I said, it's give and take. We share on different things like that.
I think it's very important that a woman, each man and a woman, even within a relationship or in a marriage, remain some sense of independence, because you're not going to be good with each other if you're not good at who you are. Right. So my point is, remain and go out with your girls, go out by yourself. That man has to be able to do the same thing, because again, if you are not good at who you are and you don't know you and you lose yourself, you're not going to be good in a relationship, period. Because brokenness either way, it's not going to produce anything but brokenness. So every week, every month, you need some time just for yourself, just to know yourself, just outside of that. You're still a person. But whatever person you bring to that marriage or bring to that relationship, it doesn't change. If you're broken, you bring it to the relationship. If you don't know yourself, you bring it to the relationship. And I think that we live in a generation that necessarily, I understand maybe back in your mother them days, they were about pleasing men or men pleasing women. It can go vice versa. I think that we have got caught up in what society says and what we see on television, what we see on Facebook, that we don't try to please. I don't like to use the word please. I like to use the word coexist. Work on self. So basically, I think we done bought into this fantasy, this illusion of what relationship and marriage, based upon what we see and what we hear. What we hear Oprah say. Hell, Oprah ain't even married. And if she wasn't, and that's okay. But you can't get caught up in all. You have to define it for yourself and define it as the word of God says. And even out of that, we take it out of context of what the word of God says. Even when we talk about head of the house, we often define that wrong. My thing is, if you know yourself and you work on yourself and you allow that other person to work on themselves, when you coexist, you're going to be healthy. You're going to be growing together. But when you take that away from each other, it's not going to work.
Yeah. I agree because I think, like you said, people bring their baggage into the relationship. So, if they suffering with, low self-esteem, they bring it in there. And so if they look to their spouse to basically try to fix it. So, I mean, I agree. I totally agree. You should be able to coexist. And you're right, a lot of things society tell us and social media, they'll tell you, this, if he doing this, you need to kick him out. If she doing that, but when you get when you're dating, it is basically that simple because you are, still two separate individuals. And at that moment that you're dating, you haven't made a commitment to each other. But to me, once we get into a marriage, that's a totally different thing. That's a whole different, ball game.
I agree.
Yeah, that is very true. Sometimes you may get into a relationship and your spouse might open your eyes to something new. And I think that's good to open your eyes to something new. You may open his eyes to something new, but you still continue to maintain what you liked before you got into that relationship. And I think that's very important and that's very healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't like change because change takes us out of our comfort zone. Change to unfamiliar territory. And when you don't change, that relationship is pretty much gonna die. That even with yourself. You become bored. We don't like change. It's a fear fight. Because we going into that unknown. We going to that place we don't know. And what I'm saying is that each person, you're gonna change whether you want to or not. You're not gonna be that same. You're not gonna be that same person that person met 5 years ago. It's just like, okay, for instance, you can be dating and you can be dating a long time, and that person's still giving you and doing the same thing every year, your birthday or your special day. You might say after 3 years, man, you didn't notice I don't even like that anymore. I don't even do that anymore because you have changed. So we have to recognize change and we have to appreciate the change. And if we don't, we need to talk about the change. But you're going to change. I don't care who you are, good or bad. It's going to go good or it's going to go bad. And what I'm saying is, do you notice the change within yourself? Because if you don't notice the change and somebody else pointing out a change, it's going to be like a collision. And sometimes we get caught up into the other person. We don't even know our own change. We're not in tune with ourselves. We are not who we were 5 or 10 years ago. Matter of fact, even within a year. But you try to stay there because that's where your comfort zone.
Yeah, true. And I can say that for me, like when I'm on a job, I get very complacent. Like I get comfortable there, even though I know like it's something else I want to do or it's something else I need to do. So, but I don't be quick to like change jobs and go, just walk into the unknown, do something different outside. I just keep sitting there and knowing you just like hate to go to work. Because it's not, it's no longer serving you any purpose, besides drawing a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? So I know with me that being complacent like that, not trying, that changing, it's hard for me.
Yeah, because with Bernice, I try to touch her different now. Yeah, she don't like how you touch her 5 years ago. I had to keep it up.
Yeah, I like change because I'm quick to get bored. So I love change on all aspects of life because I'm quick to get bored. I can't stand keep doing the same mundane thing over and over and over and over and over.
But can you accept? Okay, you like change, and that's great. But can you accept the other person when they change also? Because sometimes we don't like, and be honest, we don't like sometimes when other people change because they're not in that place where we want them to be. they're not in that familiar place. You know what I'm saying? If they're in that familiar place, I know you. You know what I'm saying? I know you, but
yeah, but no, I accept change though, even from other people, because of the fact is people comes in your life for different reasons and different seasons. So it's not guaranteed that they'll be there for life anyway. So I accept the change of other people. Once they show you who they are, okay, I'm good. I can roll with however you roll it. So I accept the change, whether it's for the bad or not. I'm gonna accept it and embrace it.
Okay, so
Go
you're in
ahead,
a
go ahead.
relationship and your husband, but you're in your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
People like to say, "Oh, we're growing," and one person's growing this way, somebody else is growing in a different way. So that's change.
That's change. And then
If they
what you
have
do, right? And then what you do is sit down and talk about it. Say, hey, it seems like you're going this way. I'm going this way. What, and maybe the other person maybe haven't noticed it. Like Dr. D said, they might have noticed the change. But then that's when you sit down and we talk about it before it get too far. To where always communicate before the communication be shut down. Because once the communication shut down, it's a wrap.
Okay, so then who's gonna make that change?
That's what I'm saying, that
We
conversation.
communicate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In communication, you have to communicate, because if you do not communicate, I promise you, it will shut the whole, you might well say it's gone. You have to communicate. Whether you there you go, whether you're mad, angry, or whatever, we're gonna communicate. We're finna talk about this. I know you may not want to hear it right now, but we finna talk about this.
If D does something that I'm paying attention, I'm like, wait a minute, you didn't do that. Wait, D, wait a minute.
Right, exactly.
We're gonna talk about it. Maybe.
Wait, we're gonna talk about it, and that's what you do. Never shut down communication.
Well,
Never
sometimes
shut it down.
understand when you change though. But the thing about it is, it's all boiled down to work. And I think sometimes you can't crowd a person. You can't overimpose on a person. And sometimes we all go through our change that we don't understand. All of us go through a growth spurt, and it's not always the same time. That's why I call any relationship that you value. Now you got to label your relationship. Some relationship is just a relationship. It's just a friendship. It's nothing. Anytime you got two people that engage with each other, that's a relationship. Now, there's some relationship of value. Now, you don't have to ask a person what level of relationship, what you mean to them. Just look at how they value you. And if they value you, you're willing to work through those hard times. It's just like y'all go through menopause, and it'd be like, that's a whole nother thing that a man don't understand. I mean, y'all go through hot flash and cuckoo with cocoa puff that, I just want to hide in the attic somewhere, Being honest,
right. But again,
ain't no way I can understand it but to go through the process.
But again, we have
hold on. If I
communication.
I value you, I'm gonna work through it. I'm gonna work even through it. Come on. When y'all menopause now, ain't no communication. It's communication, but it ain't healthy communication a lot of times. Because we don't understand. Our bodies don't go through. All we hear is that, get the hell out.
We try to tell you and explain.
Thank you, Vernice. That's still communication. Whether you want to hear it or how you perceive it. And see, that's one thing too. People got to hold accountable on how they perceive stuff.
That's not communication. That's menopause gone crazy. And I'm just saying, you got to be with them. But if you value that person, you work through it. It's work. Because I know men go through that change too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At certain ages, we do. And so sometimes y'all be saying, when we be tripping, y'all be saying, I don't want to hear this. In your mind, it ain't communication, but because you value her and you know the person behind that, then you work through it. That's all I'm
Right.
saying.
Yeah.
Right. Depending.
Yeah.
Now depending. Now let's get this clear. Depending. Because
Depending
number one, if you already done came in and told me already less than 12 hours ago the same thing, and I said, okay, give me a chance soon as in the morning rise, I call the folks, and then you come back again. Now that's what you're not gonna do. That communication, then I'll be like, look, now you already done told me now. And I said, give me a chance.
That's cool, Ronnie. But you already saying if it ain't on my, what you seem like you were saying everything. If it's not on my turn, then it's not my communication. That can't be. No.
No, because we
saying
already
don't
done communicated. No. We already done communicated because you can't
That
keep saying the same.
might be in some relationship, it might take coming back 2 times or 3 times and saying the same thing. All I'm saying is sometimes it doesn't. Well, I'm saying the communication, but what you're saying, if it's, and I've been guilty at this, I'm not saying I'm professional, you know, it's not always about you're right. And if you saying no, it's gonna be because you think you're right, then the communication is totally lost. All it's communication, but it's a healthy communication. Sometimes you have to walk away from the situation. Sometimes you got to, and men, y'all know men, we'll go silent in a minute. We'll go silent in a minute because here it is. When we streaming at each other, ain't nobody hearing each other. We'll go silent in a minute. We'll go out the door. We'll go take a ride. We'll slam, y'all just throwing and slamming doors and one hand. Sometimes it's just take. Either way, we gone. Just leave us alone for a minute. Men are very egotistic. Women are very emotional. Egotistic and emotional. Emotional is I'm a holler out. The first thing, egotistic is you're not going to bruise my ego. We're egotistic.
But sometimes you do try to understand, D, because sometimes you say, oh, you want me to get this for you? You want me to do that? You do try to come in and you get up and go do it or go get what I need or whatever. So
but I'm just saying when you come to that medium straight argument, somebody's gonna have to walk away. Sometimes it be you, sometimes it be me. But women is I got to get it right. Men are, you can say 100 words, we ain't heard but 2.
I agree. You're right about that. So this has been an interesting topic today. I think we kind of drifted off the original topic. I forgot what it was now.
Ronnie?
I forgot what it was, but
I don't know.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. And we appreciate having a male point of view because male point of view is usually different from ours, and sometimes you need that balance and not just one-sided. So we appreciate you coming on today and talking with us on our show today. Thank you, everyone else, for tuning in, and please join us next time for the Be Natural show, where you can be you, be free, be natural. Thank you, everyone.